spinning target to open up, officially open the stadium or something like that. I only had a little glimpse of her, what she'd said on Facebook, but yeah, it's great that archery was right there at the sort of opening of the stadium.
82 days to go. Now we get set for the women's recurve gold medal match.
There's so many of these events this year, they feel they're great events in their own right, but everyone knows that the goal is London, the goal is the Olympics, and all of these.
This is a build-up to it.
This is all a build-up, and sometimes teams might be trying different strategies, working in different ways, but really the focus this year, and really for the last 2 years, is the Olympics in London. That's what this is all building towards.
I'm sure these three ladies are building towards that and focused on that. The Korean team.
Absolutely.
Kibobe on the left, Lee Sung-jin on the right, and in the middle, Choi Hyun-ju. They'll be taking on the team from Chinese Taipei, Tanya Ting, Lin Chia-en, and Lei Xianying. The young lady on the right, Lin Chia-en, winning the medal yesterday.
She had a
and
great day.
Surprising.
Yeah, I gave her a high five in the lift later on that night. I was really impressed with her.
She deserved it.
Yep, absolutely, because I think people weren't expecting her to perform so well, and she really brought it out of the bag and shot great.
She defeated Zhu Jing for the bronze medal yesterday in what had to be the biggest victory of her career to date.
Absolutely, but maybe the start of many more to come.
And you'll see she's very quiet, she's very unassuming, but she carries herself with a lot of confidence.
I think
you
she's
could
been
see
embarrassed.
that yesterday.
Yeah, I think she's been embarrassed when I congratulated her on how well she shot, but she's very polite. I said thank you, and yeah, it was a great performance. It's nice to see a new archer come into the scene and stir things up.
Lee Sung-jin with a 10 to start things up here.
Well, if you wanted to start a match, I'd say that'd be one of the preferable ways you put down is opening up a competition.
Choi Hyun-ju with a 10 as well. And now Kibobe, who won 2 gold medals in Shanghai, but was eliminated in the early rounds this week in individual competition, and she shoots an 8. So 2 10s and an 8 for Korea.
It sometimes happens. It's hard to, even if things are so tight on the competition field, it's hard to keep a winning streak going. I mean, even Brady Ellison this week tripped. I mean, he had been on one hell of a roll, a top world-class performance, and then this week he went out in the top 32. Didn't particularly shoot bad, but he came against my Ukrainian friend, and he was shooting great, so he went out.
On any given day.
Yep.
And everybody's human.
Everyone is human.
9.
So 2 9s for Chinese Taipei to start this match.
See, normally you'd think 2 9s, that's a reasonable way to open up a match, but it puts you 2 points behind when you're against Korea.
Lin Chia-en.
See if that magic can continue from yesterday.
When she won that bronze medal, defeating Zhu Jing.
I'm going to call that one a 9.
They'll put the asterisk by it and check it a little bit later on, but right now we'll count it as a 9. So it's a 1-point lead for Korea after the first 3 arrows. Lee Sung-jin with another 9. Right now, Lee Sung-jin only ranked 134th in the world, but that's because she's been out for so long.
I was going to say that's through lack of attendance rather than lack of performance.
Exactly.
Excellent.
She'll work her way back up in those rankings.
Yeah, she best 3 results for your ranking within the last sort of 2 years, so once she's done 3 shoots, I'm sure she'll be right up there.
Kibobe, star in Shanghai 2 weeks ago.
That was uncharacteristic. Maybe this match is going to be closer than we thought.
I think she's surprised too.
Of course, a few years back we had finals on the beach here, maybe not this exact location, and it was so windy we even had 2 of the Korean women miss the target altogether. They hit the rocks at the back because it was just so windy.
It is a possibility. And there's a 10 for Chinese Taipei. So right now,
things are getting closer.
Much closer.
Good line there.
Chinese Taipei needs an 8 to tie it, 9 to take the lead.
10 would be nice, though.
Lin Xiaoan.
Plenty of time left on the clock, too.
9, solid 9, so they do take the lead.
Of course, in these team rounds, if it is a bit windy and you do start to take your time, you can find it. If the first 2 archers take too long, you can find it with your last archer can start to get shorter time and just adds to the pressure and mean they might have to shoot the shot when conditions are less than ideal. So it's tricky. It's tricky. You've got to watch the clock and also try and get the best results from the conditions you've got.
It is tricky, and as many times as you may have been in this situation, many times as you may have practiced, the weather is going to dictate a lot.
Yep.
In terms of how quickly the first 2 shooters on the team will take that shot.
And I've shot the last position in the team many times, and often it's great because you can finish and you can see there's plenty of time on the clock because your teammates have shot reasonably quick, but sometimes in the conditions you're left with 12 seconds on the clock and you've just got to shoot the shot.
Thanks, pal. Thanks. Appreciate that.
You just have to shoot it, and at least then you can pass the blame on your teammates for putting you in that situation. But
when they do, they owe you one.
They do. They do. Hey, it's all a team effort, though.
Interesting to watch the Korean team during this little break in the action as they retrieve the arrows. They don't seem phased at all by this. They've been in this situation before, and part of what makes Korea so tough is just their mental strength. And we've talked about it already, but I've got a feeling we're going to see that right here.
Consistency. They just seem to never give you that chance to come back. But Taipei seem to be hanging in there, shooting just as good. You just got to do it every end, though.
Oh,
that's the
no question. The first 6 arrows have been shot. There's 18 more to go. As Chinese Taipei has the 1-point lead, 55-54. Tan Yating, Lin Xiaoan, and Lei Xianying.
There's a lot more experience on the Korean team, but Chinese Taipei have got the lead at the moment.
Lee Sung-jin outside the 9 ring. This could be interesting.
This could. I don't know what the current ranking of the Chinese Taipei team is, but I'm pretty sure Korea are #1. There's team ranking up for grabs as well. Next recovery there.
Choi Hyunju, who's 25 years old, now ranked 64th in the world after picking up a bronze medal in Shanghai 2 weeks ago, I should say. And now an 8.
Always there with the high 5.
So 2 8s and a 10. Tan Yating.
That is beatable.
For Chinese Taipei with a 9. So just good solid shooting for Chinese Taipei right now.
That's what it's going to take.
Tan Yating with the 9. Now Lei Xianying. 9 as well.
Shot. Three 9s would give him another 1 point.
Lin Xiaoan.
At least we know she can definitely deal with the pressure.
She showed that yesterday. 3 straight 9s.
Another 1 point though gained ahead for those 3 arrows.
So after leading 55-54, the lead is bumped now to 3, 83-80. Now the Koreans know they've got to get going.
Yeah, that's when they often do. We'll see.
Choi Hyunju, who had a bullseye on her last shot, who comes up with a 9.
A wide one at that as well.
So it's left to Kibo Bay to try to finish off the second end in strong fashion.
She has a very aggressive style. Explosive. And it works.
Kibo Bay goes for it and gets the bullseye. So 54 points in the end. Tan Yating.
That's what
Bullseye.
it takes.
Ms. Lei.
There's a little tiny X right in the middle of the target, and we always take great pride if we can hit that.
7-8 liner, probably a 7.
Yeah, that probably is a 7.
That's probably the toughest shot they've had so far.
That's going to make things interesting.
Ms. Lin needs an 8 to tie and 9 to take the lead.
That would be a good time for a 10.
Ooh, and a 7.
See, maybe the wind has changed. They've both gone over there the same amount. Maybe that was less Archer fault and more climate fault.
That's how quickly fortunes can change.
Absolutely.
Just like that. A couple of tough shots for Chinese Taipei. And after leading by 1, after the first 6 arrows, we're now at the midway point of this match, and they now trail Korea. Not a position you want to be in when you're competing against Korea.
No, it isn't. But no one's shooting perfect here today, so there is opportunities. But when you're given one, you got to take it. We're talking about archers trying to hit the X-ring, but in some competitions, especially at Olympic level, they sometimes have a small camera fitted right in the dead center, like a 5mm camera right on the X, and we're always trying to hit those. And occasionally you do it where the arrow just goes right down the middle, and you see it smash the camera lens, and that's a good one.
I wonder what the insurance is like on one of those cameras.
I don't know, but I wouldn't want to be insuring them myself, especially not with these archers around.
Well, you look at the board, and Chinese Taipei, they started off with a 9-9, 10-10, 9-9 in the first end. Then they had 3 9s and a 10 to start the second end, but finished up with 2 7s, and that's why Korea has the 1-point lead, 108 to 107.
And that's why we say consistency wins. You can have, there's no point just having a little bit of genius striking there. You've got to maintain it all day, because it only takes a couple of bad shots and you find yourself behind, and then it's awfully hard to pull it back. But I think there's a chance they might be able to.
Korea's had 1 7 on the day, but just 1. So Tanya Ting turns things around right there with a 10.
I think we'll call that comeback, shall we, for that one anyway.
Lei Xianying, ranked 26th in the world, seeking her first World Cup medal.
Good shot.
9 will help.
This will be her first, would it?
It would.
Okay. See,
If she gets it.
Well,
She'll get it.
She'll get a medal.
She'll get it. It's just a question of which color.
But that is added pressure. You know, she hasn't been in this situation before, and it's different to shooting at home or shooting at the club. You know, it is a different experience. I'll add to this an experience that I totally, thoroughly enjoy. I want more opportunities to do it.
10, 9, and 7, and Korea responds with a bullseye on the first shot by Lee Sung-jin. Choi Hyeonju in her first year of international competition and shooting like a veteran.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not letting their event get to her, that's for sure.
And here's Kibo Bay.
See, they're 1 point up on this end, but on this next shot, they could make it 4.
So 3 straight 10s.
It's 4
and
points
Korea
though, isn't it?
pulling away, yeah.
That's another 4 points in the bag.
So Korea increases its lead to 5.
Great shot, though.
And the ladies from Chinese Taipei have got to respond now. Another 9.
And even sometimes if you don't think you can pull back the 5 points, just to finish a match shooting well doesn't half make you feel a lot better than if you finished it shooting bad.
Yeah.
10 points.
Ms. Lin with a 10. So another bullseye. So 55 points in the end. This third end.
Which is not a bad score.
No.
55 is perfectly respectable, but it's not going to be enough.
A lot of days it would be,
Yes, a lot of days it would be.
but this isn't one of those days. Not when you're facing the Korean team.
And they're not against one of those teams either, yeah. I often think the fast, aggressive Korean shot is particularly suited for these windy conditions.
Ms. Choi with a 9. And if Kibo Bay can shoot a bullseye, it'll be a 4-point lead for the Korean team. Trying to pick up the gold medal. And it's a 9, so the lead is at 3.
57 end though, that's formidable. Be interesting to see how many of the men's team can beat that 57.
So the lead is at 3. It was at 5. That's the largest lead of the day for either of these teams. Korea was up 138 to 133 midway through this third end. But Chinese Taipei able to take a couple of points back. And so as we head down the stretch now in the fourth end, it's a 3-point differential between the Koreans and the team from Chinese Taipei.
You see the Korean coach there in the grandstand with his video camera, always videoing, always studying, always trying to find small areas where they can just gain another point, just creep ahead. Always the analytical team, the Koreans.
Good look at the scores through this match. And lots of photo ops here on the beach on the Mediterranean shores.
It's certainly bright enough.
So 6 more shots to go for both of these teams. Chinese Taipei trying to pull off the upset. And we're in a position to do so after taking a 1-point lead after the first 6 arrows. Tan Yating with a 9.
I think sometimes teams going up against Korea feel as if they've almost got nothing to lose because they feel as if everyone is expecting Korea to turn up and do the performance that they can actually feel like the pressure's off. Everyone's expecting them to lose, so there's no reason we can't go out there and try and cause that upset. So sometimes it sort of works against Korea that, yeah, people don't get nervous because they feel like they've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. And this sport is so much about the mental. Shot.
10 for Lin Xia-en.
29, great shooting.
Ms. Lin came here as the 54th seed in the tournament and was ranked 128th in the world, and of course got the bronze medal yesterday in the big upset. So she really,
that's going to
I don't want to
improve
say she came out of nowhere, but
again, it's their attendance because
she emerged.
It's so hard to get onto the team. When they do burst through onto the team, they have formidable opponents and often medaling or double medaling in their first event. And I can tell you that does move you up the world rankings quite rapidly.
Quickly. Kibo Bay.
So I'm sure by the London Olympics they'll all have a quite appropriate world ranking.
Kibo Bay, part of the women's team that won the Olympic test event in London last October.
And that was tricky conditions.
Yeah,
that was windy.
Tell me a little bit about Lord Cricket's.
It's a great venue with, I mean, it's almost as old as America. I think it's 1 year younger than America. We always tease our American coach about that. But it's a fantastic venue. But like all big grandstands, if you have a windy day, the swirling effect inside there can make it so difficult to read because you'll literally look at like 9 flags in the stadium and sometimes they're all pointing at each other and you think, well,
each one is telling you something different.
So part of the thing of running the test event is you've got to learn what you think, which flags are giving you the best signaling, and sometimes you've just got to shoot an arrow and see where it goes, which is a terrible thing to say, but sometimes the best judgment in the world, you can't beat shooting one down there and then correcting afterwards.
So what you're telling me is this is not a perfect science.
It's not. Maybe if we had wind meters every 1 meter over the field, maybe then we could draw up an equation to work it all out. But at the moment we don't have that. And yeah, Lord's is a tricky ground. I mean, the first few times we trained down there, dead calm, and we learned nothing because it was lovely, beautiful, still day, and you aim in the middle, arrows go in the middle, and then the test event It was very much like this, very windy, very swirly. But I will say it was probably about 20 degrees cooler. It was a cold, cold October.
And chances are you're going to get some weather during the course of the competition.
If there's one thing the UK is known for, it's weather. And yeah, the London Olympics is probably going to be no exception.
In fact, I saw the weather report this morning, and there's another front that's about to hit the shores.
Fantastic. My girlfriend's doing a domestic competition in the UK at the moment, and she's meant to be doing a 3-day event, but they've cancelled the 3rd day because the field's waterlogged. And she texted me this morning to say it was 5 degrees on the field of play.
Ooh, more water's on the way.
Which was a vast improvement on yesterday, which was 3 degrees. So it's warming up.
Well, it's all over here in this match as Korea still behind by 1, but we said it at the time, in between that first and second end, they didn't appear to be rattled at all, and for good reason. They've been here before. They came back. They watched Chinese Taipei shoot a pair of 7s in the second end, and that allowed the Korean team to go up by 1 midway through the match. They went up by as many as 5 midway through the 3rd end, led by 3 heading to the 4th end, and they wind up winning rather handily. Well, it's a little closer than we thought, 220 to 218. So actually, really a pretty good performance by Chinese Taipei.
I think they'll be pleased with that. I think upon reflection this evening when they're having their team meeting, I think they'll feel like it was a good performance.
220 to 218, the final score.
Not bad scores at all. And it will be interesting to see if the men can get around that sort of score area as well.